Making progress in anything requires focus. If we're too scattered and we try to do or focus on too many different things, it makes it really hard to progress and to learn effectively. I'm Callie, and you're watching CRK Training. This is my weekly video show where I give tips and advice on a variety of different riding, training, and horse care topics. I often find that I get some of my best insights from reading and learning in areas outside of horsemanship or riding that I can use to apply to my riding and in my training in horsemanship. So I love to read and I love to learn. And I spend a lot of time reading about career, business, and also personal development. And there was a book that I read recently. It's called The One Thing. And the premise of this book is basically that we need to focus. Like I said earlier, when we focus on something, and when we break down a big goal or a big vision into more actionable steps, we're able to achieve that goal much more effectively. So I've made some other videos and have some other resources available on kind of goal setting, creating habits, making progress. But what I want to do in today's video is kind of tie this whole process together and give you a question that makes it a lot more simple to think about what you need to focus on. There's so many different things in our riding that we can focus on. We need to practice our riding. We need to learn how to train our horse. There's a lot of different disciplines that we can do. There's so many resources available to us, different books, different clinics going on, different online courses. And what is really that most important step for you to take, or that most important thing for you to focus on? That's what I want to help you with today. So whenever we want to improve in something, it is important to have a goal. And a goal can just be kind of a vision for where you want to go. So sometimes a goal is really specific. It could be, I want to canter around the whole arena and feel confident and secure. It might be, I want to go on a trail ride with 3 of my friends. It could be a competitive goal that I want to ride this next level dressage test, or I want to do the jumpers at this height. But if we have a goal or a vision of what we want to do, it gives us some clarity for the next step, which is we need to choose a focus area. So when we just have a big goal or vision, it can be kind of overwhelming to think about how we're going to get there. There's so many different options that we could do. But within riding and horsemanship, there are a lot of different frameworks that can help us figure out what our focus area needs to be. So one of them that I really like, that I just started to draw out here, is this wheel of horsemanship, holistic wheel of horsemanship. And this can be a really good framework to get you thinking about some different areas that you might need to focus on. So in this wheel, I'll go through it quickly. We've got the rider, or rider skills. We have the management of the horse. That would be like their care. Are they install or turn out? What's their social life like? We have their nutrition, their hoof care, dentistry. These are kind of the big horse health topics that really tend to affect behavior and therefore affect our riding. We've got saddle and equipment. This is always a big one. So now if we take one of our goals, let's say the first one I mentioned is an example. We want to be able to canter all the way around the arena, feeling confident and secure. So if we look at this and we start to think about how can we pick what we need to focus on? And this is where the book proposed a really good question. And it was, what's the one thing, if you do it, it'll make everything else easier or unnecessary? So how we could think about this with the cantering, if you're riding in a saddle that puts you in a really bad position, maybe it throws you back and throws your leg in front of you, or it doesn't fit the horse really well and it makes your horse hollow and it makes him want to buck going into the canter, then no matter how much you work at your skill or you work on improving your horse's health, if you put that saddle on and both of you are uncomfortable, it's going to make it really tough to improve. But if you can get even a better fitting saddle, everything else is going to become easier. So then that could be your one thing to improve. Let's say you're in a situation where maybe some of these are out of your control. So you ride a school horse at a lesson barn. And this part is out of your control. The saddle is okay for what you're doing. So the rider skills could be what you need to focus on, because that's the one thing that you can do, that you can control. And if your riding gets better, then everything else about that goal is going to become easier for you. So for this example, let's go with this one. Our focus area is going to be rider skills. So now from here, the next step is to create a habit. So even once we have our focus area, there's a lot of different things that we could start doing to get there. So a good way to create a habit is just to start brainstorming. If you want to improve your skills as a rider, you could work on your balance. You could get more knowledge, maybe read a book. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. You could spend more time riding, more saddle time. And we could go on and on with this list, but just to keep the example simple, if we ask the question again, once you have your list of ideas that you could do, what's one thing that's going to make everything else easier? This is where your response is probably going to be more personal and individualized. But let's just say work on your balance. So if you want to improve your skills as a rider in order to be able to canter all the way around the arena, if you improve your balance, everything else is going to get easier. Your time in the saddle is going to be more productive, and you're going to be able to better apply any new knowledge that you're getting about what a good posture really looks like. So how you could take this into a habit is, what if you could spend 10 minutes a day doing some simple exercises at home to improve balance? It might be working on an exercise ball. It might be doing some simple yoga poses that involve some balance. It could be a number of different things, but now you've actually broken it down into a habit. So you went from this big goal to choosing an area to focus on to creating a habit to get started. So there's the old Chinese proverb that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And in this book, The One Thing, it put a really interesting extra little twist to that proverb, because when we take that first step, we want to make sure that it's in the right direction. And thinking about your goals and how you're going to move towards those goals with these kind of ideas is going to ensure that those steps that you take are in the right direction. I hope you enjoyed this video. Know that I have a lot of confidence in you, that you can reach your riding goals however big or however small they are. So just keep working forward, keep taking that next step, and use some of these ideas and that clarifying question to help you figure out what that next step is going to be for you. We're going to post a few more resources down below this video. And if you're watching this anywhere besides CRK Training Blog, make sure that you go there. It's where the best comments and the conversation happens. And I'd love for you to leave me a comment after you watch this video and tell me, what is the one habit that you're going to start in order to reach your goal? I look forward to seeing your comments.